Hola, cage fighting connoisseurs. This is Kid Nate of BloodyElbow.com, joined once again by the ineffable, the ineluctable, the inevitable Eugene S. Robinson, author of Fight. Everything you ever wanted to know about ass kicking, but were afraid you'd get your ass kicked for asking. Huh?
No, you got it wrong. Everything you ever want to know about ass kicking.
What'd I say?
You said everything you added something in there. It's just
I
wrong.
see.
That's all. It's just wrong.
It's just wrong.
If you cared, you would get it right.
But that's the thing. Sometimes we care, sometimes we don't care. My stash is back, Eugene.
Yeah, I know the old mutton chop thing. That's good. What are you doing it for now? Any special?
I just lost the habit of shaving when I grew the beard out, so it was like I turned around and I basically had a beard, so I just carved this back into it.
All right, is that like kind of showering too? You lose the habit of showering, teeth brushing?
No, have to shower every night. Every morning after we run, and the toothbrush.
You're a morning shower, huh?
Right. After we jog, yep.
Okay,
And it's got humidity,
Right.
Got to do it. But we're here for the UFC Goiânia, Brazil, Condit versus Alves, care don't care preview. Huh? I butchered that too. I am on a roll.
Well, we could do it like the whole Goldberg creepy smile thing, which I really started to enjoy and don't want to talk about it too much because I don't want him to get wind of it and try to stop it. But he was on a roll this last fight, man. I mean, before we were even halfway through, I counted like somewhere between 8 and 13, and I haven't figured out how you break down the creepy smile he flashes to us versus the one he flashes to Joe Rogan. I can see its intimations of it when he does it to Joe Rogan, but it's not the full high wattage Klieg light glare that you get when he's doing it right to you, And I have to say, one, it's a type of smile, and two, that he bleaches his fucking teeth so they just look like bing. It's a lighthouse thing, So
you won't get any of that from me. I promise. These babies will be pearl yellow.
Well, you're not showering, you're not brushing your teeth, and you're not shaving, so it's all of a piece.
Yeah, it's a package, the Kid Nate package. The moms of West Austin love seeing me at the school gatherings.
That's a whole nother topic entirely.
And it's like all the Tri-Delta sorority meetings I missed in college. They're all now I'm getting to make them up. So
Yeah.
That's
I was hanging out with my kids who were like very super young, like in kindergarten. They're hanging out, and I was just always blowing the moms off. And then I was talking to this one mom, and she's like, "Oh, I lived in France, I lived here." We was like, "Oh, do you know this, right?" And we were talking, and I forgot that I wasn't a mom, that I was at this point like a stay-at-home dad, I think my leg was that's when Kung Lee had fucked up my leg, so I was not working, so I was on this crutches, and I had to rush the kid to someplace else. I was like, "Hey, we should have coffee. We could finish talking about it." And then this look came over her face, and I was like, "Oh my God, she just thinks I asked her on a fucking date." And she was weird to me for the whole entire remainder of our time in that school. And her son and my daughter ended up sort of dating, a little elementary school dating thing for a bit. But it was just super uncomfortable after that. It was like, Jesus Christ, look at yourself for a second. I don't want to get into this.
Another social faux pas, Eugene. That's
social faux pas. I guess whatever.
Speaking of faux pas, how about the disclaimer?
The disclaimer. Care don't care preview. This is mostly for crybabies and bedwetters and those of refined sensitivities who you see. Can you hear this fucking dog next door?
I can hear
I'm gonna murder that.
No threats
dog.
On the air, Eugene. No threats.
That's. I mean, I'm gonna muzzle him up and hug him and love him until he stops. It's barking so much. So crybabies and bedwetters has nothing to do with your skills or talents as a person, individual, or a fighter, and much more to do with the marketing heft, talent, or interest that the UFC has put behind you. Fight a better fight. It's possible to move from don't care to care. Fight a better fight. Maybe we'll take note of you next time, like Chris Collier Greens or Daniel Felder, Paul Felder.
Paul Felder, yeah.
Yeah, see, or Johnson Webb, three of the guys who have moved from don't care to care. and will remember you. But don't get your feelings hurt.
No feelings. No crying in baseball. No crying about the Care Don't Care preview.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I know you're having a big Tom Hanks film festival every night there at the house, Eugene. Like everybody.
No, I did something though that I haven't done in a long time. I saw Mad Max Fury Road twice.
Twice? Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah,
Loving it,
I
huh?
haven't seen twice. Well, there were the pervasive smell of vomit the first time sort of ruined the experience for me because apparently they have these D-zone seats that have that are motion and somebody just got in the 3D theater with the D-zone seat. They just couldn't hack it. They vomited all over. So I had to go back and try the so-called D-zone seat to see if it had that effect on me. But
how was it? Was it?
It was great both times. I would actually, if it wasn't so freaking expensive, see it a third time.
Wow, that's a glowing review. I never get to go to the movies, so you know.
Not a lot of black people in the movie, however, but you know.
Well, you know, post-apocalyptic or something.
What, we didn't make it through the apocalypse, huh?
I think Charles Manson has some theories that explain it all, Eugene. If you just
there were a few black people, but you know, I mean,
they all bad guys.
No.
They all died early on in the movie.
One was a mother's milk cow. It'll make sense if you've seen it, and then others were extras in the movie. But I do know that Tom Hardy, the guy who largely created a career for Tom Hardy, because he used to be this kind of effete Hugh Grant-esque type guy, and when he came in to do Bronson, they laughed him out of the place, and he started working with this trainer, this kind of super trainer, Brit, who used to hang out with my sister for a bit, and he came back 30 days later to do Bronson with the mustache and the whole bit. Bronson ties in the most violent prisoner in the UK. My article, click on it at Ozzy. And he was so changed, they didn't even recognize him. They had to look at his name on the list. They go, who's this guy? And
wow.
Tom Hardy.
Like Bale there.
Yeah, so not only did this guy train him for that Bronson role, but he took him to Australia to get him in shape for the Mad Max thing as well. So
I see. And this is a reboot. This is like Mel Gibson Never Happened. It's
not a reboot. It's number 4.
Very exciting. That's it.
Mel Gibson is not in it though, because anti-Semites have their own movies. He
was probably working on another movie in Aramaic or ancient.
Right. Yeah, you have your own movies. It's called self-produced.
Yep, some of the biggest movies of all time. I hear the Duggars in here are working on a new package. All right, let's dive right into this mess because there's a lot of don't cares coming and a few cares, I think. But we got the whole thing Saturday night, fairly late. First 2 fights are on Fight Pass, starting with welterweight Louise Dutra and Tom Breeze, but with an S instead of a Z.
Do not care.
Yeah, I don't either. Although the Breeze with the S instead of the Z.
I like the names.
Yeah. That's a good start. If the names have you, then you know. All right. Women's strawweight Juliana Lima and Erica Almeida.
Don't care.
Yep, don't care either. All right, so that's 2 don't cares for the Fight Pass card. It's a shutout, whatever they call them in baseball. All right, so we got 4 fights on the Fox Sports 1 prelim, but the entire rest of the card is all going to be on Fox Sports 1, starting with featherweights Lucas Martins and Mirsad Bektik.
Don't care.
Yep, as he eats the sandwich. Did you bring enough for the whole class? And what kind of sandwich do you have in there?
We're back to this again. If somebody's watching it live, I would like you to be I'm inviting you to be the first to write, my God, I got to watch him eat and look up his nostrils while he does it. I hate it.
Is that egg salad?
It isn't good for you, man.
Hey, that's my favorite Pee Wee Herman food.
I'm going to smear some Vaseline over the lens so you can't tell what the hell I'm doing.
Well, anyway, I was going to make a reference to Pee Wee's Big Top Adventure, but did we already care? You don't care about Lucas Martins and Mirsad Bektik. Is that what you said?
I don't care.
Yeah, okay. And then welterweights, Elizu Zaleski dos Santos. I bet he has a nickname. I bet you anything the UFC calls him something else. Versus Nicholas Dalby.
Do not care.
Yeah, me neither. All right. Flyweight, Jussier Formiga versus Wilson Heiss.
Yes, I care.
Yes, now we're in the doings. And Heiss is one of these guys, not to speculate out of turn, but if he starts fighting in other jurisdictions, he might be a little thinner, I think, in the future. What do you think? You think he's going to have the Belfort body next time we see him?
I don't follow you, Nate. What do you mean? What do you mean?
Just a thought, It's just yeah. Anyway,
I talked to a Brazilian guy about it, and he said you have to understand when you're in Brazil, it's just medicine.
It's just to help you, just to be a healthier, stronger person, right?
You might take protein supplements. You might take, something you might do.
Well, I was reading that Americans get a lot of methadone in our water. Did you hear about this?
All right.
And methadone reacts with some chemical that they use at the poop factory and becomes a carcinogen after.
Oh, no, man. You're a good news, bad news type of guy.
I know. About the
methadone thing. You know what? A guy gave me some methadone. I don't know why.
With that. I had a sort of cousin die off that stuff.
Well, people for a while there, people would give me drugs to hold them for them.
Kind of the drug bank.
Yeah, they'd be like, I don't want to take these drugs. I will give them to Eugene, and then he will be, it'll be okay.
Is this, were you advertising yourself as straight edge at this point or something? Or?
No. It's just that I was the sanest person they knew.
Now that is a sad boat.
How do you like that? So this guy gives me all this codeine. And I say all this, I mean maybe 10 tablets. And, he gets his shit together. He's now a multimillionaire, if that makes any difference. He gets his shit together. He goes, okay, Eugene, all right. I'm okay now. Okay, you can give me that codeine back. I mean, I think you know how the story ends.
I see. And then you said what codeine, right?
Yeah.
I've been real sleepy lately. I'm sorry, man. I don't know what you're talking about.
But no, this guy, the one way he do it, he gave me some methadone and he gave me some other pills.
Did he give you the methadone in like a little cup of red liquid or what?
No, he gave it to me in an envelope.
In an envelope.
There were pills. There were pills.
It was pills, huh?
Uh-huh.
I've only heard of methadone being dished out as a liquid.
But no, he gave me a bunch of pills in an envelope, and then he gave me a written guide as to what was what.
Well, that's thoughtful of him. Saved you some.
And as luck would have it, I lose the guide.
Well, then, just had to go Sid Vicious on it. Just
nah, fuck that. They went to the garbage, man. I'm not playing pill roulette. Screw that.
Come on, I thought you were a real rock and roller. I mean,
I wonder what this. Well, after the fentanyl problem, then there was no more of that.
I see. Lessons learned. The capacity for learning. That's what separates us from the sociopaths, Eugene. That's
well, yeah, that's right. Educability, that's right.
Yes. All right. So, do you have a pick between Formiga and Wilson Heiss?
I'm gonna do the unwise thing and pick Formiga.
You think so? I think so too, because he's been on a hot streak,
Yep.
and I don't think Heiss has developed at all in years. So,
and I mean, you can't. The hometown thing sometimes works against you, but.
Well, they're both Brazilian, so I don't know which one is from. Go on like.
Is one a Carioca and the other's from Sao Paulo or something, or?
Heiss is from Sao Paulo and Formiga is from Natal, Rio Grande do Norte. So I
don't know what this means.
That's way up north. So he's from the poorest part of the country, and Heiss is from Sao Paulo, the luxurious urban mega city there. Yeah. God. So, and I don't think Goiânia is. I don't even know where that is. This is the kind of value you get on the show. You get to watch.
Yeah, but what do you want? You could be talking to a guy like Zane. Yeah. And Zane would have the facts and the figures, and then at the end you'd have this horrible empty feeling because the facts and the figures just leave you just empty.
Well, I mean, maybe mileage might vary, but our show you get to look at some egg salad. It's like food porn, except
except without the high quality food.
Hey, now you're saying this right in front of your girlfriend. She's over here bringing you your lunch. I
Hey
mean,
man,
from off camera.
hey, shut up.
Uh,
You shut up.
You're the one talking, and she can't hear what I'm saying.
I know. That's why I'm saying shut up.
All right, so let's move on to the headliner of the prelim card: Honey Jason versus Damon Jackson.
I care.
Because of Honey Jason, you don't care about Damon
Of
Jackson.
course. Do you know why though?
Why?
Because I know Jason Honey.
Huh?
Huh?
No relation.
Who is Jason Honey?
I don't know who Jason Honey is. Who's Jason Honey?
Second singer for Social Unrest.
We've been through this like every time. How do I not Donna Shalala this? Did you see on YouTube somebody signed up with the Donna Shalala account and told her you had told some story on Knuckle Up before?
Yes, yeah. I can tell how often you actually look at Knuckle Up because this guy did that 2 months ago.
I read all the comments. Now that's
2 months ago he did this.
Well, how am I going to remember 2 months ago?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
that's
way
okay.
Back. I'm sure you got more important things to do.
Like getting contracts out to people so they can get paid.
Yeah.
Huh?
Speaking of which, yeah,
it's coming.
That's it, buddy. You open that can of worms. Where is the contract?
It's coming. It's in the email.
It's like throwing your neck into a rear naked choke. Why would you do that?
Oh, sometimes that's the best bad option.
Yeah, right. All right. Speaking of which, Rumble.
Oh, Rumble.
He almost pulled a Roberto Duran. People have glossed over that.
Yep.
After the second round, he was like, no.
Yeah.
That was what we would have called career suicide, then as now.
Yes. Although Duran sort of came back from it, but his image was never the same. I mean, no. And, I don't know. But let's move on to
this is mixed martial arts, submission fighting, right? If he hadn't answered that call, he wouldn't be getting many other phone calls either.
No. It would have been, but he did answer the call, which you got to give him a lot of credit. That takes a lot of gumption, and went out there and did the same thing he did the round before, except found his way into a rear naked choke on the bad end of it. So,
how could he be so bad on the ground? How?
Well, the theory on the Black Zillions is that they train their takedown defense so rigorously, and that's it. They have the one line of defense, and then the whole game is punish you for trying to come in and shoot on me, and then apparently they don't work the underhook, roll over, walk to the cage, get out. Like.
And so somebody was saying about Vitor. Like what happened? Black belt in jiu-jitsu. He probably just showed up at the school, punched some guy in the face, and they go, "All right, give him his black belt."
I wouldn't. I'm not going to question Carlson Gracie, but yeah, I think if you question Carlson Gracie,
I can't think of anybody who I train with, including white belts.
You got to wipe your lips off. It's disgusting.
Don't worry about it.
That's what you said last week when my mic was crackling. Come on.
That's your own fault, Jack. Blaming me for that.
I couldn't hear it. But either way, so you think Carlson Gracie was just giving out the belts? He even tried to give Belfort his last name.
I remember that. That much I remember. But I mean, we call it affectionately the eye guard. What the fuck is he doing? Using the eye guard and then trying to punch from there. I mean, that was a miserable display of non-Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
It was front running at its finest, is what it was. Like he thought he had Weidman, he shot his wad, firing punches, and that was it. Like I don't know.
No. He was pretty effective, but if you don't know that if you're pretty effective with your stand-up, the next thing coming out of that wrestling wheelhouse is going to be a takedown, you're crazy.
Well, I think he shot his wad. Belfort. He's always been a front runner, and once he didn't win, then he didn't win. So I think it was just cutting out the middleman, getting right to it. Like I'm beat. Let's get let's do this. Go on, get the mount. Hit me. Okay. I
would have let him get out of that round.
You would have.
He had like.
Did you hear why Weidman didn't? Did you hear the secret reason that he revealed to Ariel Helwani?
What did he say?
He said he had to
Ariel Helwani. That guy. I love him. He's a struggling young journalist. I like
He's looking for his big break, Eugene. We're trying to
yeah,
help
he's
him
looking
out
for
by
his
mentioning
big
him on the
break.
show.
Okay, right. Yeah.
But he told Weidman told Ariel that he had to take a dump real bad, and that's why he had to get.
Oh, I heard that.
Yeah,
I heard that. Yeah.
That's why I had to get out of there. So
That was nerves. That the only time that's happened in an oxbow setting, typically right before we play, I have to do it. And we played some show. We played. I remember the band. We played with Deerhoof, and in the middle of the show, at bottom of the hill in San Francisco, they feed you, which is a very European thing to do, not typically something that happens in America. They feed you, and the food was bad. I got food poisoning in the show. I had to run to the toilet in the middle of the show. Some guy said to me, what were you doing, man? I told him what happened. He goes, you should have just pooped on stage, man. I've been so punk rock. I was like, yeah, you're not the one who's got to drive home with poop in his shoes. How do you explain that as a grown adult?
Yeah, that's you could say I'm a degenerate drug addict. That's about the only excuse that
nobody finds that sexy, man.
No.
Poopy pants? Nope.
It is poopy pants. That's a DQ right there from kindergarten on, man.
In any section of your life, it's a DQ.
Right. Maybe when you're 2 or 3. If you're still in diapers or just right out of diapers.
No, I'm just talking about adult life. Adult
life. Did you hear about the story Vox.com ran, our flagship media outlet, ran about the astronauts arguing about whose turd it was that was floating through the space capsule on Apollo 10?
That is the kind of quality journalism that I am proud to be associated with.
Well, I thought everybody in the company was thrilled with that story. Like, it's history, it's science.
Yep.
It's fun.
And poop.
And poop, yes.
I find poop journalism to be not as aggressive as it had been in the old days. The heyday, what the rest of us in the field call the heyday of poop.
Back in Eugene's day, they had something.
Hey, did I tell you when I was a lifeguard? Poop. Is this a Donna Shalala thing? When I was a lifeguard,
I have not heard this one. I swear.
I was complaining about a kid pooping in the pool, and somebody goes, "Are you kidding me?" I go, "No, the kids poop in the pool, and I gotta fish it out." He goes, "No. If there's poop in the pool, we gotta close it 3 days for a hepatitis thing. The health department rules." And I was like, "Oh, okay, 3 days of the pool being closed." And me so desperate for a day off and some time to reflect and think about my life.
How long before the Baby Ruth bar dropped into the
Yeah. If Baby Ruth bar, you'd have to pay for.
See, poop, you got. Yeah. It's a touching tale.
I got plenty of free stuff floating around. So anyway.
A charming tale, Eugene, and well told. I have to say, and well told. All right, so now you're cutting in and out. I hope the connection stays good. Let us pray to the Google gods for connectivity. Now we're moving on to the main card. Welterweight: Wendell Oliveira and Darren Till.
Don't care.
Yeah, me neither. Sorry, guys. All right, lightweight: Norman Park and Francisco Trinaldo.
Almost care. Why am I caring?
I think because you're not remembering who these guys are. Norman Park is I believe
Parke.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. He's like Don't Care City.
Yeah. And Trinaldo. Why do I remember Trinaldo?
Trinaldo's been on.
Sometimes there's what we call the haunting ghost, of the phantoms of Don't Care, where you remember a guy just because you didn't care about him last time. Yes.
And we don't care about Francisco Trinaldo, I promise you.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, no, he's a heavy don't care. All right, light heavyweight Francis Barbarossa versus Ryan Jimmo.
I care.
Because of Jimmo?
Yes.
Because of the robot?
Yeah. No, because
of his outspoken anti-Reebok rhetoric?
Yes. Get the Zapruder camera rolling, baby.
You think they might put one of those Fertitta bounties on him?
I'm a superstitious man. If anything should happen to my son, he should get struck by lightning, I would have to revenge myself on all of you. Anything happens to Ryan Jimmo, I want the camera. I want the film.
You want to see it from all angles.
I want to hear from all. Hey,
you want the grassy knoll shot.
He tripped down the stairs. Except, he is MMA's Cal Scalak as far as I'm concerned, and he really should have listened to me when I mentioned Cal Scalak 18 months ago. There's no any individual contributor sport, man. You're going to lead the charge. You're going to turn around. There will be no one behind you. No one.
Yeah, you got to round up the whole crew or don't even mess with it. And then, even then, many's the rebellion that thought they had the whole crew.
Yeah.
And didn't. I was just reading an Elvis biography. Did you know at one point Scotty Moore and Bill Black and DJ Fontana went out on strike, and they thought they had the Jordanaires locked up, the backing singers?
Yeah.
And they didn't. The Colonel, they went in the meeting with the Colonel, and the backup singers turned on him.
Well, you can't trust a singer. You know this.
Yes.
I mean,
but they thought, these guys are backup singers. They're like musicians.
Even worse. Even worse.
They're all aspiring singers. Is that
correct?
Correct. Yeah. You think every backup singer wants to be a lead singer?
I don't know. It depends on the relationship to the singer. Like my cousin used to be a backup singer for the Cranberries, and
the Cranberries. Wow, that's
And at one point, she had been overheard saying, "Dolores Riordan cannot hold a note. What the fuck is the problem?" And I think they asked her to apologize, and she, she's related to me. She's like, "I will not."
Man, biting the hand of.
Hey, whatever, Jack. She
was that the end of the gig? Yep.
Yeah, then she ended up playing keyboards and singing backups for Barry White. Is that a step up? I think so.
It depends how often he's working, but yeah, overall.
Well, he's dead now, but this is before.
Yeah, well, hopefully, yeah. And then she just got a gig with BB King, and
you start to see a pattern here. Yeah, right.
All right, so we care about Ryan Jimmo. Now we get to somebody, I can't believe he's already in a fight. Welterweights, Alex Oliveira versus KJ Noons. Didn't we just see KJ Noons yesterday?
Not recently enough. I mean, there have been guys that they've rolled out there more recently,
He just fought, I guess it's been since December. Huh.
I'm now thinking about retiring because my freaking jaw is broken. Magdesi.
Yep. That was a painful step up in competition for the young Mr. Magdesi.
I want to know what mouthpiece he was using.
You think that affects it?
Yeah, I've been rolling with the brain pad thing, and then it was giving me problems, not bad ones. And somebody saw me take it out, and they go, "What the fuck are you doing with that brain pad thing?" I go, "It's great." I go, "Yeah, if you're gonna mix some stand up. Otherwise, for grappling, it's no good." So then I got a grappling one, which is really my old rugby one. And some guy goes, "Oh, don't tell me you're one of those guys. What are you talking about? Doing jujitsu with the mouthpiece?" I go, "What the hell is wrong with that?" My mouth gets all cut up anyway. He goes, "Relax, and your mouth won't get cut up." So I said, "All right." So I stopped using the and largely he was sort of right,
So if you're too stressed out, too anxious, then you're
and then this stuff or you biting your thing. I mean, the only time I get into trouble is when I'm talking, doing.
Isn't that a big part of your game? Isn't that part of EJJ?
No. Oh, no. Talking? No. I have a technique that I picked up from this guy and this Brazilian cat named Andrew called the distracted driver. And he's rolling with you and he starts doing like this. And then you start looking over there and then he gets you.
I see. I noticed somebody I think might be an Aussie coworker is calling you Gene on Facebook. You gonna let that stand?
That's my sister.
Ah, well, so she can do it.
Only people in the world can get away with it.
I see.
I had to have changed your diaper. So unless I change your diaper, you can't.
So David Vitter and your sisters are like that.
David Vitter. I'm like, all right. This is the kind of quality stuff you don't get at every MMA show.
Who makes jokes about the senior senator from Louisiana but me? Huh?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I interviewed this porn star once, Samantha 38G. And
that was her name. Her brand.
Yeah, if you type it in, you'll see Samantha 38G. I don't suggest you do this if you're at work. And she was saying that she was an ardent Republican. And I was like, what the? You're a porn star and a whore. How does this work? That these guys are trying to run you out of business. And she goes, repression is good for business.
Savvy, savvy. Did you hear about California trying to mandate goggles on porn sets?
Goggles?
Goggles,
When did this
because
happen?
body fluids. I saw it on
Yeah,
Boing Boing today. I don't know if it passed. I didn't. I've read the headline.
I
That's it.
didn't. I did. I would love to be part of this congressional hearing for them to try to explain why goggles.
Hepatitis, Eugene. You just explained it earlier.
No, 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 no. But I want them. If I were there, I go. I don't know what you mean.
Why would
They were.
why would anybody need goggles on a porn set? Huh? Huh?
Yeah,
Because body
yeah,
fluids are
exactly.
flying, Eugene. That's why.
And then you say fluids. Really, what kind of fluid? I mean, you got to make them go into painful, excruciating detail.
Uh-huh.
I don't watch porn. I don't really know what you mean. How's that work? No, his penis is way down here, and the face is way up. I don't. How does this work?
Yeah, and then they'll say, Eugene, you wouldn't believe some of the circus freaks in the biz. That's like the state senator from the San Fernando Valley would pop up and say, hey, why don't they have a senator that defends their interests? That's what
He
I
would
want to
stand
know.
up and say, "Hey, I'll show you." You remember that old Saturday Night Live skit where the two porn guys get straight world jobs, and they like office. They go, office temp workers, and a woman comes out and says, "Hey, could you, after you guys finish your break, could you file these things?" And the guys are like, "File it, yeah." And then she's like, "What the hell are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, sorry. I just." That was one of the greatest skits ever. I don't even know what it was called, but it was great.
I'm like 20 years behind on SNL.
Probably. Well, this was about 20 years ago, so.
Oh, there you go. What other era would we be referencing on this show?
Yeah, right, exactly. After the Aldo Moro thing last week and the Lord Mountbatten.
Yep. I had to Google Aldo Moro, but then I did remember it came back, which isn't going to be happening with these millennials. So, all right, so we're already the co-main event, and I think we've had two cares.
Yeah, and then cares. I mean, I haven't even started in on with time they're showing it because it's just embarrassing.
Yeah, you know what else we haven't gotten to? This part of the show, and you haven't even mentioned.
Yes, I know. I like it to be organic, man.
I see. It's gotta. You don't just like pull out the swastika and start goose stepping around apropos of nothing. No. See, you don't think. I mean, because there was actually a cause for it to talk about because they just had the Cannes Film Festival, and one of the big hits at the Cannes Film Festival was this movie called Son of Saul, which is actually, about. It's supposed to. I mean, can you really make another Holocaust movie? I mean, we've tried it from the conspirators' point of view. We've tried it as a rollicking fun ride with Inglourious Bastards, Holocaust porn. You've got Jerry Lewis's clown comedy come tragedy that was later remade by that Italian guy and actually won Oscars.
That's right. Benigni.
Yes.
Life is Beautiful. And so, it's everything sort of been done. But apparently this movie, Son of Saul, goes like right into the heart of it. It's supposed to be great. And it's been picked up by an American distributor. But, I kind of wonder about the Max Factor, I mean, it was raised today. Terry Gross raised it. She goes, I don't see him. It's not going to advance me at all. It's not going to tell me anything I know. I didn't know there's like no actual benefit to me seeing yet another whole. She goes, I've read so many books. It's not going to, if there's a story, the story now is the Nazis that are still alive about to die. But that's, even that story's.
What about what if you did about the Armenian the genocide they won't call a genocide? Now that would be, That would be virgin territory.
Yeah, except then you actually have real serious problems with Turks who, they get upset about this thing. And this is largely an unresolved thing. And it turns out that Hitler was not people think that there was a connection between the Armenian genocide, which I'm comfortable calling it. People think that there was a connection between Armenian genocide, and there's that famous quote about one person is a murder, 20 million people is a statistic. Yeah, but if you dig a little deeper, you find out that wasn't Hitler's inspiration, actually. So
was it? I know that Goering modeled his plan on America with the enslaving the Negroes, genociding the Native Americans. So
yeah, And there was another one. There was another reference that Hitler made, which went back to Africa. So yeah. I mean,
yeah, the Germans did some of that in their colonial. Yeah. Anyway,
I mean, I think that Martin Amis said it best, and it's something I always go back to in specific moments when I'm parenting, typically, where his quote was, "Total control of another individual inevitably leads to torture."
No, that's a cynical viewpoint, but yeah, I think you're right.
It seems to me to be pretty accurate. I mean, most parents who are not torturing their kids are doing an exemplary job, But I mean, I see small torches going on all around me. The most shocking one was this kind of, this kind of trailer park cat. You understand that any way you like. Comes into a chevron where I happen to be standing, and he's holding his daughter. He's got an 8-year-old son and a 6-year-old son standing there next to him. He's a raggedy pickup truck. Clearly they might be living in it. And the older boy says, "Hey, Dad, I want some ice cream." And the younger kid says, picking up on the ice cream thing, but wanting to amp it up a bit because he really wants the ice cream, goes, "Dad, I want some ice cream too." And the father turns around and punches the kid full force in the face. The kid rolls over in the aisle, and I'm just standing there. I go, "Hey!" And the guy goes, "What?" And I go, I mean, what do you say at that point without sounding like a hippie? Like, if he says what, he has no idea what you're talking about.
Or just doesn't, yeah. Or it's just a complete.
I mean, unless you're going to wrestle that guy to the floor and then call Child Protective Services, I mean, they're going to return this. I mean, it was like mind blowing. I mean, at least that kid got to see some adult person register chagrin that this, or maybe a glimmer that this is not the way life is supposed to be working. But god damn.
Yeah, that's a bad spot to be in. Yikes. You can't Sir Galahad your way out of everything.
I mean, you start and you just start punching that guy right away. What lessons did the kids take? Dad, we were in the store and this black guy started punching Dad.
Yep, yeah, that probably will circle the wagons,
Yeah.
Especially with the whole black guy thing. I mean, they've been told stories, and now there's one.
Right. So it was a strange ethical quandary. Usually, I just strike out first and ask questions later. But in this instance, I had to go, yeah.
Is there anybody else in the store?
Yes.
And nobody did anything?
No, I was the only one to register. The kid picked himself up and just stood there quietly.
Oh. That's that's a bad spot. I once spoke up for a pregnant woman that these two teenage punks were fucking with on the bus, and everybody in the bus just looked at me like, "You are an asshole and an idiot," and I was left hanging. It was. So
what happened? Did they beat you savagely?
No, they didn't beat me savagely, but they did follow me off the bus, and I hit one of them with my backpack full of books and ran. That's so I did it one motion, slugged him, and was gone. So,
I almost stabbed some guy in the subway once.
Stabbed?
Kids. Yeah, they were fucking with this old guy, and the old guy was just sitting there reading this paper. And I tell you, I used to carry like a big fucking crazy dookie hunting knife.
I've never seen the utility of knives. I mean, it's because what are you gonna do with that? Stab somebody? I mean,
yeah, that's the general idea.
But I mean, like, what situation are you going to be in where you want to stab somebody? Like, I can see macing somebody, punching somebody, hitting them with the truncheon, but stabbing.
This one, these guys, old guys, they slap his newspaper. The old guy looks up like, "What do you do?" And they slap his. Attack! There you go. And so they fucking slap his newspaper. He looks up, then they slap his hat, and there's a whole car full of adults just sitting there doing nothing. And oh, thank you. And then I'm like, hey, and they kind of look at me, and they kind of like, it's an animal calculation. Like they look at me, and then they just turn away. And I had under, my code, I had the, two guys, they were about my age, maybe a year older. I was about 17. I was like, I would have had to stab those guys right away. No fucking around, I'm not gonna get beaten up for the old guy, but at the same time, I don't want to see the old guy get beaten up.
Yeah, but like stabbing, like then you're in deep trouble if you stab somebody. I mean, that's like
You're only in deep trouble if you stab somebody if when they ask you who the knife belonged to, if you say it was yours.
I see. So if you would just, and this is pre-cell phone cameras, so you could just make up any kind of fairy tale you wanted to.
Right.
What kind
So
of
if
dessert do you have in there?
I'm having a little bit of ice cream.
I see. What flavor is that? Looks like some kind of
It's pumpkin
pecan,
spice.
pumpkin spice. It's not fall. You can't
Hey
have pumpkin
man,
spice
whatever,
in the,
Jack. It's
in the
cheap
spring.
now. That's
Ah, I see. I see. You got some clearance pumpkin spice.
so if you say I don't know where the knife came from, it could be safely assumed that the knife belonged to one of them. You wrestled it out of their control and you defended yourself. Now there were some guys I was going to put in the fight book. I may have told this before. The two gay guys who were walking along holding hands, and people look up in a bad neighborhood and go, let's rob them, and they go to rob them. But, it's like the Folgers taste test. What they didn't know is that one of the guys was a Navy SEAL.
Ah, a gay
And
Navy SEAL? You expect me to
yeah,
believe this, Eugene?
yeah, and he killed them both.
Whoa.
Okay.
Bare
And
hand?
so he goes to court and he figures cut and dry, self-defense, cut and dry. And I don't know the particulars of the case, but I do know that they start asking questions. So you're a trained professional, right? So now at this point, he should have known he was in trouble. So yes, I'm a trained professional. So at the point where you disarm them, what happened after that? Well, my training kicked in and, they ended up expiring as a result of my efforts. Did they pose a threat to you once you had taken the knives from them? Not really, but it was automatic. So you automatically just lost control.
Don't answer those questions.
And it became a political issue as well because it was in a changing neighborhood. These were the gay guys were the hipsters,
gentrifying oppressors, colonialists.
right? And the community activists started making noises. Dude ended up having to go to prison for 7 years, which is how I found out about him.
7 years.
I was at Soledad prison. He was friends with a guy who I'd end up interviewing for something else. He goes, "You should really talk to this guy. Put him in your fight book." And I kind of thought about it for a bit, but I couldn't really. The story was so big in my mind, it took away from the arc of the fight book story. So
I see. It could be a whole book or an Aussie article, one or the other. Just a 4-paragraph Aussie article or a whole book.
Sorry,
that's all right. That's all right.
So I mean, at that point, he did say that these knives were. He did manage to say the knife didn't belong to me, but they start parsing shit in a weird way, like. Okay, you took the knives away. Okay, they were stabbed, right? Where'd the knife come? I don't know. It wasn't yours. It was not mine. It was theirs. Yes, it was theirs. Did they drop it when they were running? Did they drop it when they attacked you? Did they drop the knife and he picked it up? Were they running at that point? Were they? And this is something I don't know. Was these guys stabbed in the back? I don't know. Don't know.
But if the guy had been a cop, he would have got away with it, no problem. I was scared.
Yeah.
Did you see the cop in Cleveland that the unarmed people were shot 137 times, and he got off because they couldn't prove that the 49 bullets from his gun killed him? Like,
he said he was frightened.
Yeah, well, he did say he was frightened, but the way he got off wasn't because he was frightened. It was because they couldn't prove that his 49 bullets were the fatal 49 bullets.
I didn't realize it. I've avoided the story because I'm just
You're done with police brutality and cops and everything.
I'm doing a piece I'm going to do a piece in New York on cops, but I want a different story. I'm looking for a different angle. I'm tired of that one.
Did you see the Chicago PD that got busted with putting antlers on the black dude's head?
Yep. You know what that reminded me of?
What? 70s movie reference coming up?
No.
No?
My original segue that was ruined. It reminds me of.
I think you got some ice cream on your tie.
Shit.
No, I'm kidding. Just go ahead.
It reminds me of the Warsaw Ghetto and some of the soldiers playing the rabbis or the Jews in the ghetto, cutting their beard, making them dance, making them, clean the sidewalk with a toothbrush. Yeah, great merriment on the part of the German soldiers, but cat and the mouse are playing. The mouse doesn't think it's all that funny,
Yeah.
So it's not your fucking fraternity house. So,
those Nazis, man, what a sense of humor. Huh?
Yeah. So like, again, total control of another individual inevitably leads to torture.
Absolute power corrupts absolutely. That's
not enough to put the guy in the jail cell. Hey, I got an idea. Put antlers on him. That's funny.
Mm-hmm. Let's pose like we're hunting. It's like, Anyway, all right. So now we're to the co-main.
I got Abu Ghraib. Hey, let's put a penis on his forehead. I
like how it was all sergeants and some women that they put in jail for that. Like that's it. The buck stops here. Like right here at lower management, enlisted men.
Right. And who was it? Petraeus.
Yeah.
Hanging out with his girlfriend.
Hey, baby, I ever tell you what the president said to me? Here, look, it's right here. Oh, classified. Forget about that.
Top secret, honey. That just means it's especially interesting. Go
Take
ahead.
your clothes off. I'll show you some more top secret stuff.
Yeah, well, he did his time, Eugene. I mean, he did his settlement. He didn't do any time, but he's been through the media ringer over it.
Oh, he and Mark Sanford, those guys. Nobody has suffered like those guys have suffered.
Nobody has. And Scooter Libby, poor guy, actually went to jail.
Oh, that was a miscarriage of justice.
That was
what kind of kangaroo court would send a man like Scooter Libby to prison?
The right hand of Dick Cheney. I mean,
unbelievable. Anyway, all right.
Anyway, co-main event, a rematch of a controversial fight from years ago. Nick the Carney Lentz, or as I call him, Nick the Fence Lentz, against Charles DuBronx Oliveira. Now you might remember.
I care.
Oh yes, of course we care. Do you have a pick? Is the Carney going to get his revenge here? The first fight, as you may recall, ended in I think a no contest because Oliveira kneed him to the face while he was down.
I love Oliveira, and I don't think that Nick is going to come up.
We'll see. I think Oliveira is one of these guys who has never developed into what they thought he was going to be, into what he thought he was going to be, and now might be a little gun shy.
What was his last fight?
Oh, let's see. I don't remember anything. It's all this methadone in my water, Eugene. I can't.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I love that one. Ah, baby. It's probably all I've been drinking a lot of water.
Yeah. All right. So he's on a 3-fight winning streak. Beat Jeremy Stevens, unanimous decision, but he missed weight.
That's right.
Before that, he had 3 fight of the nights, and before that, he missed weight. So he's either missing weight or he's getting a fight of the night.
Well, he should fight a little hell. These guys with the weight problem should fight heavier. But yeah, no, I'm a fan. I'm pulling for Oliveira.
Yeah, I'm beyond. I'm a journalist, Eugene, so I'm beyond this fan business. I can't. No,
a journalist, huh? Really? Okay.
Yeah,
I guess you got the hat, so that must make you a journalist. You got to put your little press card in the hat. So
Scoop. They call me Scoop Wilcox.
Yeah, they call me Ouija.
The great crime photographer. What New York paper was he with? Was he in the New York World or something?
One of those ones that no longer exist. Yeah.
Yeah. Those the Ouija crime photos. I used to have a whole library of true crime photo books. Had to liquidate all that shit when I had kids. It was
why?
Because I don't want the kids opening up a book of crime scenes and dead bodies.
I put mine in a box in the garage with my Peter Soto's.
You've seen your garage.
With my No, you've seen my office in my garage. You haven't seen it. With my Peter Soto's total abuse book.
Oh man, Soto's. I had a couple of those, and those
they had to go.
Yeah, those got to go, man. I like the time when Jim Goad was on an obscenity trial in Oregon, and they were the prosecutors were literally weeping with anguish and sympathy for the imaginary victims in Peter Soto's fiction, while they were grilling mercilessly a real life rape victim on the stand. I thought that was
Yeah.
That's pretty much how the world works.
You
know?
mean the real life rape victim being who?
Donnie the prison punk.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that
So,
guy, that was a terrible story.
Yeah, that was a brutal one.
Why the hell were they interviewing Donnie though?
They put him on the stand because he was there to testify for Jim Goad because he was featured in the magazine.
Yeah, I know, but as a character witness for Goad?
I'm not sure exactly. Just to try to prove that it was journalistic, an actual journalistic endeavor. And so he was there for the defense. So the prosecutor just, turned rapid attack dog on him. So
I got to chalk it up to the '60s and naivete, man. But he should have seen that shit coming.
Donnie the prison punk. Now you're blaming the victim.
I'm not blaming the victim here. He's dead, first of all.
Donnie the prison punk died. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he is dead. But for people who don't know, he was kind of a mainstay in the punk rock scene, and he had written me at a certain point, and he became known.
Jim Goad or Stephen Donaldson? Donnie the prison punk.
Donnie the punk. So
okay.
Jim Goad I talked to with some sort of frequency, but maybe once a year for some reason. But so he was demonstrating against the Vietnam War or some such thing, and they did a mass arrest of all these hippies and put them in jail, and in a DC jail. And then they said, okay, pretty much, you guys give us your names, you can go. It's a bench warrant ticket. Just give us. And he decided to be, I am a political prisoner. You don't have any right. This court has no standing. I'm guilty. You're guilty. This whole court is guilty. I will not give you my name. And like Friday, the judge said, look, I'm going to give you one more chance. Give me your name, and you can just fucking go home to your suburban house. And he was like, fuck you. I'm not going to. And the judge goes, all right. Yeah, that's it. Remanded to custody. And they got him, and they decide to put him down, like in Shawshank Redemption, put him down with the sodomites. And this was Friday, and they put him down, and he was raped for the entire weekend. And then, of course, like at one point, Ice-T had said, you get into prison and discover certain things about yourself, because I think he chose to deal with the trauma in a very interesting way by staying in the system. Like he would get I think when he got out, they caught him breaking into parking meters, and he got arrested and put back in. And he himself went on to say, prison is run on genotypes. Everybody's got a role, and at a certain point, I embraced my role, fundamentally, these exchanges could be tender, because at least I wasn't getting beaten up and getting my life threatened. So Donnie got kind of
he got changed. He got turned out. It was it's a horrifying story. Jim Goad's I don't know if he ever even collected that issue. That was in the infamous rape issue of Answer Me.
Yeah. That was for his magazine Answer Me. That was published.
That was published, but they, he collected the first 3 issues in in a book you can order on Amazon. But I think the rape issue's out of print. I don't think it's been back in print ever.
Yeah.
So,
well, it didn't help that Goad himself had legal troubles that involved.
Yes, that inspired the writing of his book Shit Magnet, which
he actually went to prison. He went to prison for it. So
yes, and I don't know, Goad. The guy's too racist for me, man. I think he's a great writer. I even like the Redneck Manifesto. I don't think he's
a racist. I think
he's a complete fucking racist. Have you ever been on the Net Jerk Lounge, his little private group where he?
No.
Oh my God, the guy's just a compulsive racist. Like every time, like the Ferguson comes up, he just posts hundreds of articles about black people attacking white people. It's like just endless. The guy's a complete racist.
I think he was the one who said, I think he did say, it's not so much that I hate Jews, but that I love Hitler. That may have been an actual Jim, or he may have been quoting Boyd Rice. I don't remember, but both. I think
it was quoting Boyd Rice there.
I think both these guys have been unfailingly nice to me. In fact, Gold.
You always get along with the racists, like.
I mean, meaning that something's wrong with one of us. Either they're maybe not quite so racist, or Well, I mean, there is no other option there, but you know, it's not like I'm less black. But he was saying that he was working for Tacky Theodoros, you know,
He
the
works
guy
for
who
Tacky magazine. That's where the guys that are too racist for National Review go to write.
which is where Gavin ends up before he went over to Fox. Gavin McInnes and so on, who used to be at Vice, also a friend of mine. But he said when Gavin was still at Vice, he said that he wanted Jim and I to work on something together, kind of in the spirit of those '60s movies that would like handcuff Tony Curtis to Sidney Poitier. So we were supposed to do a piece like this, but I just go, man, I've never written on race issues. I'm not really that fucking excited about it. I think it's kind of boring. It's your obsession. It's not mine. Now you want to write a sexy book. Yeah.
Two shirtless men chained together, maybe in a swamp.
Yeah, there's a guy, one poster who's like, Eugene, he's like effeminate Eugene. It's like, man, you got some weird fantasy projection going on there. Eugene is in my house wearing a skirt. I can see him now. Okay, all right. Yeah. All types.
Yeah, it does take all types. All right, so that brings us to the main event. Carlos Condit, Thiago Alves, obviously a care. Do you have a pick?
I care, and I'm going to make it irrational, which means that I'm more emotionally invested in the choice than intellectually invested, and I'm going to pick Alves.
You're picking Alves, huh?
I just have never warmed to Condit, man. I've never warmed to
the natural born killer, Albuquerque, New Mexico.
He fought one fight that had me go like, "Oh yeah!" And then everything
when he pasted Rory McDonald's punk ass in the third round, that was like every Gen Xer watching that fight was like, "Yes, crush those millennial punks." That was
right. And then everything else he's fought has been like, man.
Have you seen that Ben Stiller Naomi Watts movie that came out recently? I can't remember the name of it.
I can't see that because Ad Rock is in it. And then I think about how he used to be a friend and how rich he is, and then I can't.
You like it because he plays a completely neutered, boring dad. Like it's like the opposite of King Ad Rock. For me, as a Gen Xer, watching a movie about like a failed Gen X documentary maker whose father-in-law is a successful baby boomer documentary maker, and he gets played by this up-and-coming millennial documentary maker, and his best friend is King Ad Rock, except he's not King Ad Rock. He's a putz. Like that, it was very disappointing. And there was even the millennials had a band they called Oh Cookie Puss, and it's like, you know, the Beastie Boys' first song, Cookie Puss, and there's no reference to the Beastie. It's like the Beasties never happened, you know.
Yeah.
So it was very disorienting.
And then I think of the big truck that he backed up and all the cash, and then I want to cry because I'm thinking about my life, and then I want to sob.
Well, you know, you can't, you know, you just post another picture of yourself to Facebook, Eugene, and it'll all be all right.
Nah, you know, when I get down, I don't know what you do when you get down. What is that song? Whenever you feel it, put a happy face. It was from The King and I. Whenever I go watch animal attack videos.
Look, there was just some guy through the window.
There was some guy in Poland who just climbed into a bear's cage, but it was a rescue bear. It just kind of mauled him. It didn't kill him, and then he got out and escaped, and they haven't been able to find him. But he survived the attack, which made me very sad.
Oh man, yeah. Just you know, I got to post on that. I've got an entire blog about people who get into zoo.
I know. But I got to go YouTube on this one because I need to see the video. I need to see that time when they go out and go, "Oh, he's hugging me," and then the screams and the crying and you know, I'm seeing parallels between that and my own life, of course. You know,
with you being the bear.
Yes, of course.
I see.
I mean, like, you know, if you get a guy in a hole and you offer the guy a hand to get out of the hole, you might expect some sort of gratitude.
Oh no.
Anybody who's ever been in a hole, you know, gratitude is the last thing in your mind when you're in the hole, you know. Gratitude. I'll show you gratitude. Yeah, that's right. That's right. So animal attack videos are where it's at.
I see. Well, I'm glad that you can salve yourself. I mean, having to eliminate everything involving the Beastie Boys, that.
No, I love the Beastie Boys. I love them. You know,
it's
they're
just,
great. It just
can't,
lives on infamy when I told them they would never make it. That's all.
I see. It sticks in your craw, huh?
Yeah, that I could be that wrong. It's eternal.
I think, well, you know, you've got quite the list too. The Butthole Surfers, a whole bunch of bands that made it.
Suicidal Tendencies.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, everybody thought.
You know. I mean, you know how wrong I am because if I say the name, I don't have to explain who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Mick Jagger guy. You know.
He's never going no place.
That guy's going nowhere.
The Beasties, for me, they were the voice of the generation. Fuck Nirvana. Like, the Beasties were far and away more important, more significant, you know, culturally relevant, everything. And they didn't.
Top to bottom.
Yeah. And no disrespect to Kurt Cobain other than, you know, like.
No, there is no Larry Clark movie Kids. I mean, you could draw a circle around the Beasties and all of the shit that came out that you know, there is no Vice without the Beasties, you know.
Wow, that's a bold claim, but I think
half the people who work for Vice came from Grand Royale. There is no Spike Jonze without the Beasties. There is no, you know, no. There is no, and that whole certain wised up section of punk rock that, you know, became Riot Girl, that, you know, was really, I mean, the Beasties were New York kids, but their ethos was much more closely aligned with DC, at least politically speaking. You know, they also
went out to California, like Pied Pipers, and
you know, early on too, man. So and you know, we're going up to Harlem. I mean, when the Clash were putting Grandmaster Flash to open for them, and they were getting booed at Bonds, you know, the Beasties were like, "Fuck that! Let's go up to the Latin Quarter. Let's go see African Bambaataa." You know, what are they gonna do? Beat us up? Hang out in Harlem? See ya. You know.
Yep. So here's hats off to the Beasties. But you want to see the movie? They had me.
Also, who's the guy from Deaf American whose name I can't remember? The big fat cat.
Rick Rubin.
Rick Rubin. He's another guy. Was talking to me on the street about how he's going to start this label. He was in a band called Hole at the time, and he walked off. And somebody said, "I said, who was that guy?" And they go, he's Rick Rubin. He's got a record label. He runs out of his dorm room. I don't get that guy's fucking going nowhere, man. You know, he's gonna start some fucking label, and he's playing in a flipper cover band, pretty much. He's crazy. Yeah.
And now he's crazy like a gazillionaire. Now he's producing Neil Diamond, huh? Yeah. So all right, well that's our show. We covered the bases. We covered the event. We care about the main event.
Yeah, you didn't pick you didn't pick anybody in the main.
You're trying to see, because I'm feeling Weasley, because Alves is a ghost of himself, but Condit is also a ghost of himself. So it's like, and it's sad for me to think of these guys as the senior circuit. You know, like these are kids, and now they're on the senior circuit. So
hey, I rolled with a guy today who's 21.
Did you hurt him? Just for being young?
Oh, he crushed me. He's a Brazilian national champ.
He tapped you, submitted you, over and over again at will,
like a fucking typewriter. Let me explain to you, kids. A typewriter is a machine that's like a computer with no screen.
Yes, a much needed explanation because our audience has no idea. All right, I got to pick Condit just to make it interesting for you.
Good. There we go.
I'll pick Condit and pick Alves. And remember, give us a like on YouTube. That's the thumbs up. Subscribe to MMANation.com on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter at Eugene S. Robinson, at KidNate. Read me at BloodyElbow.com. You can read Eugene at Aussie.com and sometimes on Vice's Fightland. And
type in world's most violent, UK's most violent prisoner. You got to read that. That's a great piece.
Yes, that it is a great piece, and it's, you know, and how long you been hyping that story? Don't you have a news story to hype? Shouldn't you hype your sex column?
That's not the point. The point is it's now number 3 all time most read, and this is only in the last 5 weeks. I'm pushing for number 2, and I'm about 800,000 away from number 2. You don't think these numbers add up, but if you share it with somebody, two people, the one that's in number 2 had a year and a half to get there in 5 weeks. got to number 3. So I need to erase this 800,000 debt. So I'm pimping it.
I see. Well, work it, Eugene, work it. All right, and so I believe we've covered everything. Adios, MMA aficionados. Thanks, Eugene. Eugene will be back with Knuckle Up. I'll be back tomorrow with the MMA Vivisection with Zane and Connor. Zane, Simon.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then Zane and I'll be back on Saturday night with the 6th round. Then Eugene will have Knuckle Up, rinse and repeat as we stumble towards UFC 188, etc., etc. Adios, MMA aficionados. Thanks, Eugene.
All right, man. See you.